All right, guys, for those of you that are here, I'm about to start the presentation here, or not a presentation, more so do a couple cool things for you. Can you guys hear me? If you can hear me, type something, say something nice in the comments, or not nice, whatever you like. This is a nice big explosion. Alrighty, let's get started. So, first live in this group, so I'm excited. First of all, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for being part of this group. We're growing pretty quick. We're like 369 people. That's growing really quickly. I'm happy with that. But today we're going to go over something that I think a lot of you are going to find really useful. We talked about this quite a lot in the group. And this will be pretty much the onboarding process from the moment you get a client to the moment you actually, go through the project and how you deliver the project. And we want to make sure that if you have questions, I'm going to listen to all those and I'm going to try to answer them as I see them coming. So at the very end of the video or this presentation or screen share, whatever you want to call it, I'm going to announce the winner. I have a randomizer, as you can see in one of my tabs. It's ready to go with the names. And I'm going to, in front of you guys, click randomize, and it's going to show me 2 names that are the winners. So, and also I have a little bonus at the end for those of you that stick towards the very, very end. So let's get through this. So I actually prepared a little bit infographic here for you guys, just to make things a little bit more visual too. This is pretty much the process that we go through from the moment we get a client to the moment we actually launch their site and walk them through everything. And I'm actually going to dive deep and I'm going to show you step by step, pretty much live process of how I'm creating a sitemap, how I'm creating a site flow, and so on. And obviously, I'm not going to go too in depth with it, but you're going to see the concept and you're going to pretty much understand how we go about it. So, number one is obviously we get a contract, right? We get a client that's interested. Let's say we did a good job selling them on the phone or in person, and they're ready to go. The main thing is to have a good contract in place. Now, for those of you that haven't already seen it, in our group, in the file section, we have a sample contract for you right here. So if you haven't seen it, go here, get a sample. Now, obviously, this is just a sample. This is not what you should be using. Make sure to make it your own, and that way you're protected. The client is protected when it's happy. So we get a contract. Now, why do we need a contract? For obvious reasons, to protect yourself, protect the client, and make sure you get paid on time. Now, I noticed that a lot of people in the group and other groups talk about payments and not getting paid on time. We do it very simple. Let me actually write things down so this is visual and it's on record here. I'm going to make this smaller. So we go deposit. Oh my God, deposit, 50%. So this is before we do any work, before we touch the project, 50% has to be in our account. Now we get started. Now, why do we do 50%? So that we cover all of our bases. Most of the time, that's more than enough to cover the work itself, and the rest is profit. So this is the way we work now. The next part is, and as you can see, in our stages here, we have the contract, we have discovery, design. Once we get to stage 3, when they approve the design, that's when we go through the milestone, which is 30%. So by stage 3, we actually already have 80% of the payment. That means that we're pretty secure that even if something goes south and they decide to leave, we have most of the money in our account, and hopefully we work things out, of course, but at the end of the day, we're all here to run a business and get paid, so this is where we're at right now. And of course, once we get to point 6, right before we hit 7, which is launching the site, releasing the files to their server or our server, we make sure we get the remaining amount, so remaining 20%. Now, of course, in this case, the remaining is all depending on, was there anything that was added on? Was there any extra work that needed to be done? So that's what you have to decide. But let's say everything went 100% like it should, then this is the structure that we go through. And for those of you that don't already do this, we do have a website maintenance, right? So this means anywhere from 200 to 1,000 per month as the retainer. That's what we charge for the server, running things like plugin updates, backups, any minor revisions that they want, change the text, upload an image. And this is how we go about making sure that our business floats and continues to run, even if times are rough, even if not a single project comes in, we're still getting those little amounts coming in from different clients. Now, little amounts adding up with all of them is pretty good amount, so it's nice and easy to work with. Now, as you probably noticed, I'm in a good mood today because I just closed another deal today. Not to brag about it, but this is my name, and you guys knew I'm going to do it, so here we go. Close the deal today, and this is actually what we're going to be working on right now, creating a sitemap for that deal. Literally just got a deposit about 3 hours ago, and can't be any more fresh than that because I know exactly what they want. Everything is on top of my head right now, so this is perfect. Guys, if you're liking what you hear so far, I want to see in the comments what you're thinking about this infographics at the very least. Put some effort into that one. I see you guys liking loud and clear. Good. Hi, Anita. How you doing? Bob, how you doing? Simon, how you doing? Leor? Okay, so moving on. So you guys are just the listeners. This is good. So we got the contract established. Everyone is fairly clear on that. Moving on to discovery. So in the discovery, this is where we start with the sitemap. So what is a sitemap? The idea of the discovery section is to pretty much break down the entire project so that the client fully understands what we're doing, and so are you, right? Like, you are going to be creating a website for those people. You need to understand their vision. You need to make sure you fully know what they want to achieve at the very end. Now, assuming you've done your job, a good job at the beginning of asking questions, and you like understood what the concepts are, then this site flow and sitemap and wireframes is going to be a piece of cake for you. So I actually want to jump on and show you a screenshot. I'm obviously not going to show you the website itself, but this is one of the new clients that we just got. This is an insurance company, and fun fact about them, I don't know how much you care about that, but I'm actually their client too, and it just randomly happened that they called me and they needed a website. So maybe it was because of personal interest. They like to work with me. I don't know, but it definitely helped. But anyways, this is what I do when I first start analyzing a site, right? Like, I go on the top and I start clicking on things, start playing around with it, and I start to analyze what is currently going on and what am I trying to get to. And of course, I ask the client what is it that they want. Now, the client's main thing was, like, and I actually asked him questions without me analyzing and criticizing the site, as, hey guy, like, I asked him, what do you think, why do you want a new site? And he pretty much told me, oh, I want a modern site, I want to change things, our site is very old. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. Why do you want to make it new? What's wrong with your current site? And he said, oh, well, we have so much content, this is like too busy, the colors are not right. So he's pretty much explaining, without me explaining what I think, what he's thinking. And there's no better way than me understanding the client than ask him to tell me what's the problem. It's kind of like, imagine you're going to a therapy session, but instead of the therapist listening to you, they're just telling you what to do, right? So this is the way I'm handling this. I asked him a lot of questions and got to the bottom of it. All he really wants is a modern site. He doesn't care about anything else. He just wants everything to be clean, minimalist, modern, clean colors, fonts. Like, he mentioned how the fonts are so simple, the icons are just not really matching or whatever. So lots of little comments. So how do I go about this? Well, I'm looking, what is the most important part of this site? The idea of this site is to convert, right? This is an insurance company. They want to get people to call them, contact them. So clearly they're putting an emphasis on request a quote, right? And their phone number. Now, we want to make sure that the site is a little bit more visual too, because right now, let's be honest, nobody's going to read all this text. So what first thing we're going to do now is we're going to create the sitemap, right? So we're going to hop on draw.io, right? This is a tool that I've mentioned in one of my vlogs on YouTube. I don't know if you had a chance to see it, but this is one of the tools that I use. Very simple, to the point. Now, I already have a template that I start working with right away. I created this a while back, and I just keep reusing it over and over, and of course, add to it as needed. Now, Legend, like, obviously to help them understand what it's all about. The idea of this, for those of you that don't know or don't understand this, is the top is obviously the main navigation that's going to be on the site, and then obviously for every page, what is going to be on that page per section, right? So as you can see in the reading here, and then of course the bottom secondary menu that it's not really prominent, that doesn't have to be at the top, and then any breakdown of the pages if they have to go lead to other pages. And then, of course, we have the click to action. Okay. Is this interesting so far? Are you guys loving this or hating this? Do you want me to skip this part? Like, I want to know. I want to give you the content that you want to see. I don't want to bore you. Throw some comments in. Like the infographics. Thank you, guys. Nice infographics. Looks good. The visual process is awesome. Awesome. Good. Good to hear that. You guys like it. Okay. So next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to the site here. We're going to see. Okay. So they are putting an emphasis on insurance types, contact, blog, resources, about, locations. So we can agree that locations and about or contact, locations doesn't need to be on its own, right? So that's kind of a useless tab of its own. Let's combine that somehow. So we want to create a strategy for them so it makes sense, like a standard thing for websites, right? So normally home we want to have for sure. We want to have services, because what kind of insurance do they provide? So services. This is a very standard, very intuitive way to know, okay, I'm on an insurance website, what services do they provide? And then when I click on the services, it's going to list me all of these services in a nice way, obviously, not like this. Next thing I want to work with, okay, they have blogs, they have resources. I will probably put, I don't see how often they will be updating the blogs, but I will take all of this, move it to the side here, and I'm going to make a couple more. Now, guys, let me know if you want me to fast forward. This is the first live we have in a group, so I want to make sure that this is valuable and not just me walking through building a project here. So, resources. They obviously think this is important because there's a lot of resources. Now, that looks to me like is the same thing as right here. So this is actually services. So we don't actually need this. This was useless. Right? So right away, we have insurance type and resources that looks like doing the exact same thing to me. Yeah, they just break down every single section here. Florence, yes, clients absolutely love it because I actually had feedback about the sitemap before I had the legend here. That's the only thing that was missing, and they were like, "Love the sitemap. It was super clear and I could follow what you're doing, but I could feel hesitation in their voice." And I'm like, "What happened?" And they're like, "It would be nice if, like, instead of you explaining to me on the phone, it would be nice to have a legend." And then I added the legend, saved me like 30 minutes. I was so stoked. But yes, they absolutely love it. And you haven't even seen the site flow yet. Okay, so looks like the resources and insurance types are practically the same thing. So I don't see the purpose of having 2 extra menu buttons. Next part is we need about. Of course, we need the about. We'll call it about us here so that it's easy to distinguish right now. Blog and contact. Yeah, that's all I would say this website needs, really. Now, of course, after this live, I'll probably dig more into it because I'm doing it quickly right now. But the idea is that we get the concepts over here. So next, so on the homepage. So let's start with this row. Homepage. Obviously, we want to have the header with the big CTA. So some of you that don't know what CTA is, click to action button. So we want to have the request. We'll have to figure out and design in the wireframes. But the idea is that somewhere on the header, we need to have a CTA. We want to have the slogan. We're going to have their sub-slogan or subtitle and a big visual of their business. Now, they kind of tried to do that, but obviously that didn't really work out the way they did it. In the next section, I typically would just, I don't know, let me see here. Honestly, nobody's going to read about them that much at the beginning. Most people that come to their site, they know they want insurance, and they know right away that they're looking for specific insurance. So, for example, I was looking for condo insurance about 2.5 years ago. I went on the site. I went on a few referrals that I found. I didn't read about them. I went right to what do you offer and how much does it cost. And only when I'm about to make a decision, only then maybe I'll read about the company. But yeah, so this blurb, like nobody's going to read it. Let's be honest. So the next part is going to be services, highlights. Highlights. Oh my God, my spelling right now is so off. So the idea is that we're gonna have some kind of icons, obviously not like this at all, but cool visuals to the point. Maybe we'll even be able to combine some of those, right? Residential or car or whatever, right? Like automotive and residential, we might be able to combine somehow a business. So I see some major areas that could be combined, but we'll see. So we have the service highlights. I don't know what's going on here, but I would say after the services, I would want to see some testimonials, or actually, sorry, about a little bit about blurb for sure. After about, I also want to see testimonials because I want to make sure they're reputable. I want to make sure that I can trust them, right? I also want to see featured blog articles because I want to see that this site is being updated. I want to feel like, hey, if I go on it today and they have an article from yesterday or the day before, they're pretty up to date. They're not like an old company from the 90s. Okay, and what else? And after that, I just need the contact. So now I don't like to put the contact on the homepage anymore. Main reason for that is because Google reCAPTCHA, even version 3 or 2, doesn't matter, they always load wherever the form is. And if you notice on GT Metrics, if you guys are familiar with it, or if you go on any other speed testing website, it actually takes some speed time because it loads the scripts from Google. So I'd rather put the form to a click-through. So this section in the contact will guide them to the contact page where there will be a form where they can fill it out and the Google reCAPTCHA will kick in, and that way it won't slow the home page at least because no scripts will load there. I like the home page to have as little amount of scripts as possible so that it loads as fast as possible. And of course, later on when we do SEO optimization, we work on the rest of the pages as well. But you get the idea. And of course, at the footer, we have terms and conditions, sitemap, contact. They don't even have really anything about besides social media. Some of the given stuff I don't include in the sitemap, like social media and so on, because this will go into actual site flow area and on the wireframe. So I don't want to clutter this too much with information. This is just the core stuff that we will have on every page. So then we have that. What else do we need? So of course we want a CTA at the top and on the header area. And I think that about sums it up, to be honest with you. So then what I do here, I go change the title here to the company name, and then XML. And then I just click save, and I download the file to my computer, and I am ready to go from there. If I'm ready to save it fully, then export it as a PNG or JPEG or whatever you want, and then I can use that. You can actually export it as HTML too if you want. Okay, so are you guys following so far? Do you have any questions? What's the tool you're using for the sitemap? Jason, this is draw.io. I know I probably have a large screen, so my text is tiny. 32-inch screen. Probably compensating. Guys, any questions so far? Either there is a delay in the comments or I'm not seeing and you guys are being quiet, but I'm sure I'm going to get hit with a bunch of comments in 2 seconds right now. Anyways, sitemap. So we finished that sitemap. It's moving on to the site flow now. This is where things are going to be very visual. This is where we're going to create the walkthrough of the site. So the walkthrough of the site is important. Why? Because we need to make sure that we know all the steps that our designers have to work on, and we need to make sure that the client is agreeing on all the steps. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to fanalytics.io. Now I'm going to try to post all those links at the end too for those of you that are interested. It is on the video on the YouTube channel, so you'll find all the links there. But let's create a new funnel. So first of all, actually, let me go here because I already have one. I'm going to create a new funnel. Funnel name doesn't matter. Website, it doesn't matter. Create. Okay, now you get a blank, nice page. And I already have templates made up for me, so I can pick whatever I want, whether it's complex or not. Which one would that be? I think that would not be too complex. Let's go with a simple one. So now you guys probably right away get scared and you're like, oh my God, what's going on? This is too much information to handle at once. this is not that scary. Let me show you how I did this. All you do is you go to pages, drag and drop, right? So drag and drop, and then, oh, sorry, I don't know why I deleted it. So drag and drop whatever you want, and then you just connect them, right? Very straightforward. You drag this, boom, connected, and then you can replicate this if you want. And if you click on the settings button, you can change the name of it, right? Very straightforward. I'm sure if you guys are running an agency, you can figure this out. Okay, so we're here. We have our template in this case. You can see this template because it still says 2018, but let me delete that anyways. I'm actually going to delete some stuff because we don't need a calendar. We don't need any of this. Google Maps, potentially, we can have that. We didn't do it in sitemap. This is actually not a good template because I have a newer one. But anyways, let's go to traffic. No, where is it? Yes, traffic. So remember with social media we talked about, if they have social media, here it is. We're going to include whatever social media is needed. And then we know, oh, we don't need any of those. And we know that from the homepage, they are able to go to the social media, right? So we're going to connect them. Now, I'm going to do it really quick and raw like this, just so you guys get the idea, right? Now, we also know that if they click anywhere in the navigation on the homepage, it will automatically scroll them in a nice effect to the correct section of the site. Now, we have home, we have services, we had the, what do we have? Oh, testimonials would have been good to add to the sitemap. See, this is a back and forth like that, right? So sometimes through the site flow, you actually find out, wait, that was a good idea. And then you go back here and you go, hey, should I add testimonials? Maybe it's not as important, so I'll just skip that, right? So this, in this case, won't actually be connected. It won't be connected from the scroll. It will just be available on the homepage if you need to scroll to it. Yeah. Okay. So you get the idea here. You rename them. What else do we have? So we have contact form. So in the contact form, this is the way I like to do this. So in the contact form, they have to fill out a form, right? They fill out this form. And when they fill out this form, it will go to a thank you page, which is already right here. See, the beautiful thing is I don't even have to draw anything because it's already all drawn for me. Now, for those of you that are actually curious, this tool is pretty cool, actually. I never actually went into depth into this because this is really hardcore analytics if you want. But you can actually really, really follow through conversions on here. Like you can set parameters, you can set goals, right? You can see tracking how your website, you put the code in the back of your website, and it can actually track from here to here how many people got there, and it shows you percentages. From here to here, how many people got there, and it shows you percentages. So you know what works, what doesn't work, or where you have a fallout. It's really great for e-commerce sites. Like you literally see conversions live like that, and what an amazing thing to show your client. And like if you're converting well after you did a revamp for them, like they'll hire you for everything. Okay, so this is a sitemap. You get the idea, right? You continue here, you play around with the settings, add a bunch of things that you think make sense. I know that from the website they can also call or just set up a meeting with them, right? They can send them an email. Blogs, they go to blog post. I like to divide it into categories, right? So like from a category, so this is a very old template. I haven't used this in a while. Category. And then from the category, it will go, whenever you select the category, it will go to an actual article, right? And so on. So I'm arranging this in a clear, like 90-degree angles like that. So it's very sharp and organized. It's up to you. You don't have to go that far. You can literally just do it like this if you want, but I like the extra touch, right? Then when I'm ready, I go click export as PNG. You can save the template as well for next time. And now I have 2 image files ready to go for wireframe purposes, right? So now, looking at the site, I know that whenever we are done with the wireframe and redevelopment of this, we know that from the top, they're going to click on one area, and this is where they're going to end up, right? And now, what an amazing view for the client to see. Okay, if they go to contact page or fill out the form, they go to the thank you page. Now, for your designer, if you guys are outsourcing, if you didn't tell them there's a thank you page, they're most likely not going to design it. Now, some of you asked how, like I've seen someone in the group ask, how do you go about like getting your outsourced designers and developers to get everything done, given the whole scope? This is the way to make sure you don't miss anything, because you're laying it out for yourself, really. Like, I never thought before to tell my designers to design a thank you page. And every time we get a development stage, I'll tell my developers, hey guys, we need a thank you page as well. And they'll be like, send us a design. I'll be like, I don't have one. So just like make it work with, like, figure it out based on the rest of the design. And we all know that developers are not designers always, so the work doesn't look as good, and I have to go back to design. So it just saves you a lot of time by knowing what pages you need. Okay, how are we doing so far? Everything clear? I know I'm kind of moving quickly through this, but I want to make sure that you guys get the gist of everything that needs to be done for extra value for your clients. So, so far we've covered number 1 and number 2. Actually, sorry, we have the wireframes. Now, wireframes, for those of you that don't know what they look like, just simply go on Google and type in a wireframe, website wireframe. This is what it is. I can't pull up the wireframe right now because it's going to take a lot of time to draw one. But the idea is that you pretty much lay out where is the logo going to be, where is the header going to be, where the CTA going to be, and you just follow the sitemap and the site flow that you created. I usually do the wireframe just for the homepage, because if they don't like the wireframe from the homepage, chances are they're probably not going to like anything else anyway. So I might as well just stick to one thing, make sure to approve it, and then move step by step. I learned the hard way to not rush to do everything right away and send it. I'd rather have them approve every step of the way, because it saves me so much more time. Yes, it's a little bit longer process with communication, but it saves me the time to do the work all the time, right? So I might as well not get paid as fast, but have everything proper, and they feel involved a lot more, which is great. Okay, so sitemap, now we have all those things done. Presentation. That's pretty straightforward. You have the sitemap, you have the site flow, you have the wireframes. Now make a write-up for each. Why did you do a certain thing the way you did it? Why did you put the scroll effect? Why did you do the services and the way the services, the resources about us? Why did you put that in that order? Like, just make a little write-up, show some love into it, and all of a sudden you have a presentation, right? Just a nice PDF, maybe 4 or 5 pages. Make sure you have a table of contents. Make sure you have the company name at the beginning, right? Make it professional. If they see a presentation right before you even show them a design, and they see like, wow, you put so much effort and thought into this, they know that you are on track to make them an amazing website. Okay, any questions so far, guys? I want to make sure I don't just rush through this, but I actually answer some questions too. What do you use for wireframes? Photoshop. Like I said, I have designers that do it, so they use Photoshop, Illustrator. You can actually even use draw.io, to be honest with you. Like, you just like square, right? Make it big, put the logo here. Like, the idea of a wireframe is just to illustrate where things go. Can you show an example of one of your wireframes of what do you use? Okay, let me see if I can do that. I'll pull up an old wireframe. Actually, no, I'll show you a recent one. Let me see. Let me find what project was a recent one. This was a good one, actually. Here you go. I don't really mind sharing this because this is a pretty good one. And this is a website that we're about to launch anyway. So anyways, this is a presentation. Now, guys, only you guys get to see this. I promise. Nobody else in any other group will see this. So leave a thumbs up just for that. But anyways, this is a presentation, right? Table of contents. We have the sitemap. We have the site flow, the structure, why we did what we did. We have the sitemap with the full structure of how we did it. We have the color sets that we're going to go with and why we're going to go with them. Potential color sets if the first one doesn't really work out. We have the fonts that we're going to go with, right? Like why we're thinking those fonts will fit. And then, of course, the big, most important part, the wireframes. Now, the wireframes, as you can see, is very straightforward here, like where things go. And we add annotations as to what's going to happen if you click here, what's going to happen if you hover here, how is this section going to react. Just like extreme love to this project, right? Like, you want to show them that you've put some thought into it and you're not just making it quick wireframe quick design and just sending them a project. So anyways, I hope this one helped. I don't want to stick to it too long because there's no point. You just get a gist of it. I want it to make your own. Don't try to copy what I just showed you because it works for me because I've adapted to it. I've done it for quite a long time now. It's about coming up to 6 years now. So you can't just show it to any client and expect them to be like understanding it and loving it because it takes specific clients to love it. I'm happy to see that you guys love it. That's good. Okay, so we covered only 2 points and it's been already 30 minutes. I'm happy you guys loving it and staying on. Next point is design. I'm going to try to get through the next couple, few points a little bit quicker. All right, sip of water. There you go. So, design. This is the initial part that you design the website. So you have the wireframes done, you have the presentation sent. Now you're starting the actual graphic design. And in this case, you're going to do the initial draft. You're not actually going to do the final look of it. You want to make sure that the client gets an idea of, okay, you showed me a wireframe. Now I want to see what it looks like with, the images, the colors, the font, and so on. Now, I'm more than sure that on the first draft, the client normally will come back with a few minor adjustments, which is totally fine. They're right. They're paying for the project. So in this case, once they approve this design stage, that means they've approved the discovery. That means they approved everything up to number 3. And guess what? We're getting paid 30% because we've done quite a bit of work up until now. They know that they can trust that we know what we're doing. They know that they can trust that we're going to get this done right at this point. So 30% is deserved, and we're not continuing until we get the 30%. And that's important. If at that point a conflict arises, well, at least you know that it was meant to happen regardless. So I might as well have the conflict now than later when everything is developed. Now, I'm saying in such a tone, in such a negative, format. It doesn't happen often. Not most clients, if they love what they see, they're going to pay you double if needed because they love, well, they're not going to pay you double, but you get the idea. Number 4, so interactive design. So a lot of you, I don't know if you have ever done this. I don't know if I invented this. I don't think I did. Obviously, I didn't because there's a platform that does it. But this is a step that I take to show my client extra love. Now, I'm going to show you what I mean by interactive design. Let me see here. So where's the website? Okay, interactive design. I'm going to see if I remember this. Regular.com/prototype. Why is this not loading? Okay, here we go. Okay, can you guys still all see well? Looks like you can. What is happening? My computer is glitching out. There you go. Okay, so this is what an interactive design looks like. Guys, throw some comments in so I know that you guys can still see, so I'm not talking to myself. Okay. There's a weird big delay going on. But anyways, now that we are here on this design, as you can see, if you click anywhere, it shows us this highlight. If I click on any of this, it goes to that page. Now, what an amazing way for the client to be clicking through the pages, right, before you develop the site. So you have all the pages designed. This is literally the site map and the site flow coming into a live version without actually being coded. So in this case, the design is all completed, and any adjustments are much easier to do at this stage than actually in development, right? It's a lot easier to move a button and change the color right now here in Photoshop or Illustrator or Sketch or whatever than do it in code later on. It's just saving a little bit of time, right? So we use a program or a website called InVision. For those of you that haven't heard of it, just type it in Google, invision.com, create an account. I believe you get one project at a time, but it's up to you how you want to handle that. But the idea is we create this, send it to the client, and they click through this, and I've only received great feedback about this. So now you get the idea of interactive design. And you can actually go ahead and go like customize it as much as you want. You can add pop-ups to it. You can do whatever you want just to show them like a very thorough thing. I just show them the basics of walk through through the design. Wow, how did you build it and link the pages without coding? Just went through it. Go to Envision. So Envision will do the trick for you. You can link, you literally draw a little area that's going to be clickable. You select the page you want to click to, and it's that quick. You don't need to know any coding for that. Okay, next stage is development. Now, of course, in development, this is where everything is being coded and everything is being put on whatever platform you use, WordPress or Drupal or whatever you want to use. In our case, we use 95% WordPress. Rarely we do custom code as well. But of course, you do the database setup, the plugins, and make sure everything is clean for the client. Of course, when you're done, you're going to be testing absolutely everything. You want to make sure that you catch any bugs or any missing issues or points before the client does. Now, at the beginning of my career, I kind of neglected this point a lot, and it did bite me back. Like, you want to make sure that you go through the contact form, submit the form, make sure you get the email, make sure you go through the purchase form and like buy a product. Like, literally go through everything, because when the client tests it and when they find an issue, it's not going to look good. Okay, so let's say you finish testing. Everything is clean. You're ready to launch the site. Well, guess what? We're getting paid again. So the remaining amount, in this case, would be 20% left. They have to send that amount before you launch the site. Now, that's if you worked 50-50 before, like 50% at the end, 50% at the beginning, well, you better get the 50% before you give them the files right now. So as soon as your agreement to launch a site is reached, whether you put it on their server or yours, that's depending on your agreement, time to set everything up and launch the site. And of course, in this case, you're still in testing mode. Just because it's still number 6 and not 7 anymore, you're still testing, because better believe it, if things go wrong. We're in technology. You uploaded something wrong. You forgot to relink the database somehow, and something crashed. You want to make sure you're on top of it. So install analytics. You want to, now, I forgot to mention this. I should probably add this to this presentation. Right as soon as you get the contract, you want to add analytics to their site. Now, can you guess why I want to add analytics to their site, like the old site? So the reason I want to add analytics to their site is because I want to see what's going on before we build their site, and then I want to see what's going on after we build their site. Because once we launch their site, we're going to be comparing the two, right? Now, I actually want to show you an example of a recent site that that we launched. I believe you might have seen a message about it on our board. But let me see here. I'll try to pull out 1 second. Let me put it on my other screen. I can't show you all the clients I have. 1 second. So if we go, if you guys saw the case study we did for a restaurant in our town here called Rodney's, I want to show you this. Pretty cool, actually. So if you take a look, we launched on April 24th, I believe, somewhere there. And today is May 9th. Take a look at how helpful everything is when you have it organized. So April 24th, that was the launch, right? And that was the soft launch, actually, sorry. So we just launched, testing things. We actually do a soft launch because we wanted to make sure everything was running smooth before we announced it anywhere. And as you can see, they had an average of, let's say, 100, 120, somewhere there, right? And then obviously we launched on the 24th. Now that spiked, could be from social media announcements, could be from them saying word of mouth, right? Could be many, many reasons. Then we removed the analytics code because we did some updates. The new WordPress version came out and so on. So we just cleaned everything up and then put the analytics back on, and it spiked back to where it was. And as you can see, it stayed consistently doubling the numbers, if not tripling the numbers they used to have before. Now, what an amazing feeling to get your client triple the amount of traffic because you did a structured website with the right site flow, sitemap that actually converts and reduces the bounce rate. Now, I want to show you this live, right? If we go through like an old month they have, let's say for before the launch, 1 to the 23rd. We're just taking averages right now really quick, right? So 72% bounce rate after the launch. So let's say 26 until today, right? I want to skip the couple days that it was kind of messing up. 41%. So we reduced their bounce rate by 30%. Like, guys, if you had a client coming to you and there's 30% more chance they're going to stay and buy from you or call you, would that not be worth paying for the service? Of course it would be, right? Not even a question about it. But anyways, enough of that. So that's one thing you want to do for analytics. Anita, will you go through this whole process for every website or only for the higher tiers ones? Good question. I do go through this process for every single client because we don't really have low tiers anymore. The rare few that we do are a friend that asks for a website or a company that we really like and we need to have their name in our portfolio, like, and they're just lowballing everything. Could be that, right? Like, but at the same time, I want to impress even those companies, right? Friends are the only ones I'm not going to do a sitemap for because I'm going to tell them how I'm going to do it and it's going to be my way, and whether they like it or not, it's going to be that way. So I would say yes, I do it for pretty much 95% of my clients. Okay, so we went through this, and turn on the SEO, of course. You want to make sure you optimize the site, load times, so go on GT metrics, make sure it's fully optimized. Everything is running smooth for the clients. And the load time is absolutely fast. So if you can reduce by even 0.5 seconds, you already did a good job for them. Of course, that being said, if they're under 4 seconds already. And the last point is something that a lot of people overlook, and I believe that's something that our industry could improve on. Number 8, so walkthrough. So you finish the project, you launch the site, client is happy, you send them everything, you send them the logins to the WordPress. You might have even explained to them quickly how to update stuff. You go to pages, you click edit, right? You did the basics. But why not take the extra step and actually show them some amazing stuff? Show them a video walkthrough that you created, not took from YouTube. You created that walks through the back end. Why don't you go on the phone with them and go through every section? And why don't you even go on Loom and record a screen, you going through the back end and making some changes, and then send it to them? Right? Imagine how much value that is at the very end. You already finished the project. Might as well show them a little bit of value now, because at this point, they already paid you. They're already happy with what you've done. If you can make them extra happy, you're almost guaranteed not just a review, but an amazing review. And you can even ask for a video testimonial, because most likely they're going to be more than happy to do that. Alrighty. So we finished all points, and hey, I'm actually surprised, under an hour. I'm not too bad. Guys, I'm going to give you 2 minutes here, or maybe a minute actually, sorry, to ask questions. So shoot any questions you have. And in the meantime, I'm going to open up the randomizers here because this is exciting stuff. Now, after the randomizer, before you leave upset that you didn't win or whatnot, there is another bonus. So don't leave just yet after you saw the result. But shoot away with questions. You're welcome, Anita. I'm happy to provide great stuff. Guys, send our group to your friends. I'm sure you guys have friends, referrals, like stuff. I want to grow this group as big as we can, because this is just the beginning. If you think this is good stuff, I'm only scratching the surface as to what we do. All right. What else do we have here? So this is really good. Thank you. You're welcome, Florence. You guys have any questions about any of the stages at all? Let me just open them once again. Is there any part that you guys missed, didn't understand, you want me to go over once again quickly? What did I use to build it? I asked my designer. That's the easy way to say it. No, but I can do those things myself. But if I were to design this, I'll probably not eat. I will not walk my puppy, and I'll probably not go to the gym, and I will not have a life. But the idea, I'm pretty sure this was done in Illustrator, and he sketched it out for me. Alrighty, so I think it's time to announce our winner because I don't see any other questions. Okay, you guys ready for this? Where is there? So this is all the names that we had from the comments. Who writes the content? Anita, the content for the website? Good question, actually. The client usually, either we migrate the content they already have on the site and we transfer it over, or we offer them a service to write the content for them, or they send us content based on the content request that we send them with a PDF, and we walk them through how to get that content. Do you have cases where your interactive design is difficult to implement? Exactly. Very rare that our case, the interactive design is hard to work with, but even if there are cases that it's not easy to explain that, then they get most of the ideas of how the website design should go. The idea of it is just to give an overall general walk through the designs without it being developed. So if they have that many questions after the interactive design, then we did a horrible job somewhere. Yogesh, how you approach clients for the monthly care plan? Because when we show them walk through the video, they are more often going to update themselves. So first of all, I'm gonna dive deep into this topic in another video because that can go into a long video. You're supposed to install a plugin I'll show you that will essentially hide the plugins from them. The reason we're hiding things is not because I want to charge to update them, is because clients don't know what they're doing. And yes, they can click update and everything is updated, but they can also click update or deactivate or click something else and they will ruin things. And guess who they're going to call right away? So it's all about how you position it. I've had situations where a client just decided to go and update the theme because they saw an update button, and then the whole theme crashed and they didn't pay for maintenance at the time and some information was lost. So not only they paid us to fix everything, they obviously paid after right away for a year up front for maintenance because they knew that they will need it again because they don't want to handle that thing again. They want to be stressed that the website is down. Are you also doing the SEO part? The SEO for content, if it's part of the contract, then yes. I do the SEO basic integration in the back end. So I install SEO Press, I do some meta tags, make sure the image have alt tags. So really basic stuff. I'm not going overboard to rank the #1 because that's not what they're paying me. They pay me for a website. My name is not a random. My name is not in a random picker. It's not. Oh no. Why is it not? Okay, let's add that in. Yogesh Sharma. Maybe you weren't in the comments. I will check later, but let's see if you win first. Another thing I want to say, for those of you that win, you're gonna get the leads that I promised. But the thing is, you need to understand those are just leads. It doesn't mean it's a guaranteed project. So you call them with my instructions the way I want to want you to handle them. If you get the lead, great. If you don't, you don't. But at least you'll learn some steps from there as to how to handle this, how to handle the client, how to handle the next call, and so on. Anyways, I think we had enough questions here, so let's launch this. Alrighty, Jason, you are the first winner. Send me a message in the private messages. We'll go from there. And obviously, you have the first pick on which lead you want. The first one or the second one, it will be up to you. And Jechris, Olaya, you're the second winner. So you can let me know in the private messages as well, and you get the second pick of the lead. So congrats to the winners. But for those of you that didn't win, don't even get upset for 1 second because there's another thing coming here. Let alone they just got the most. I didn't even expect to make this video this informative, but I'm happy I did. So let alone you got that, but you're also getting a chance to do something new here. I'm planning to do a beta group. Jason is stoked. Awesome. Congratulations, buddy. So I'm planning to start a beta group of 10 people only. Okay, that'll be 10 people exclusive that I'll be teaching, mentoring for free as to how to pretty much increase, bring your business to the next level from where you are right now as an agency. I've been about 5.5 years ago, I've started out, right? And I wasn't sure what to do. I didn't know how to get to the next level, and I wanted to get there. Now, if I had a mentor telling me, hey, you're doing this wrong, you're doing that wrong, change this, change that, things will be going a lot quicker for me. I've only stumbled upon podcasts and books like maybe 2 years ago, 3 years ago. That's when I started to pick things up. And very recently, about a year ago, that's when I really like, I ran across a few good influencers. I ran across a couple books, and they really double, tripled my rates. So in this case, what I want to do is the 10 people that want to participate in this beta group, drop a comment, first of all, do a hashtag. Let me see what kind of hashtag do I want here. Legends Beta Group. Okay, do the hashtag Legends Beta Group. That lets me know that you're interested to be part of it. And then what I'm going to do is probably in about a week or so, I'm going to put another video live like this. And if there's interest, I'm going to do another contest. And the first 10 people that will win will be part of that group. Now, keep in mind, this is a beta group for 6 weeks. That means you're going to be committing for 6 weeks. Now, it doesn't mean you're going to do every day, all day. It means once a week, you're going to hop on a full like class kind of style call where people can ask each other questions, and I'm going to answer a lot of questions. But the idea is that every week we're going to tackle what happened in the past week and how can we improve the next week. And if I can manage to grow your business, if I can manage to increase your rates, if I manage to increase the value you provide, I can go to sleep happy. Like, I've been doing this for quite a long time. I wouldn't say I've plateaued as far as learning curve. I've more so plateaued as far as where else can I grow? Growing my rates and growing my value is awesome, but I also want to grow a community. I want to help someone else as well. And this is the way to do it, I believe. So hashtag Legends Beta Group. Keep hashtagging it throughout. The more hashtags I see, the more chances you might win too, and you're going to join that group. Now, yes, you did win. You did win. There you go. Were you even in the live video? You just won without even watching it. That's kind of cheating. But anyways, do we comment here on the Facebook group itself? I would like you guys to actually, on the Facebook group, I want you to throw your thoughts about this live video. Hashtag the Legends Beta Group. The more hashtags I see you throw in every post you make, I'm going to try to count them as much as I can. And then I'm going to throw it in a randomizer. The more hashtags you have, the more entries you get. So don't just keep bombarding it, spamming it with hashtags. The idea is make it valuable, right? But the more we see the hashtag, the more we're growing the group, obviously, the more that I see the interest is there and you guys like what I'm talking about. Okay, guys, I'm going to give it a couple minutes for any last questions. I don't want to make this go past an hour. So ask away any remaining questions. Let me open the infographics as a reminder for whatever you guys might have didn't think to ask earlier. And then we're going to end this thing. But I'm stoked to see that you guys are loving it. Jason is stoked. Awesome. Legends Beta Group for the win. Let me know if there's any questions while here. I'll leave it for a couple minutes here. But this is the end of this live. I hope this helped for those of you that decide to leave now. And I hopefully see you guys in one of the 10 people in the beta group. Facebook Live is really weird with the delays. Almost like a minute delayed after I say leave a question, and then I see questions popping up. Okay, thanks a lot for the live session. Really enjoyed it. Great, Anita. I'm really happy to hear that. Thank you, Jason. I'm happy to see that and hear that. No problem. Thank you, guys. Alrighty, looks like there's no more questions. Okay, guys, this is it. I'm happy to see you guys all here. For those of you that didn't subscribe to our YouTube channel, please go ahead, type in my name into the YouTube search, find any video that you see me in, and click like, subscribe, comment on the videos. It really helps the algorithm find the videos and help other people too. And I'm going to try to do a video here and a video on YouTube as much as I can back and forth so that both of those are growing. Yep, Jason, those are amazing tools, and this is just the beginning. If you think those are great, just wait till we talk in person because you won, right? And the 10 people in the beta group too. I'm excited to see what's going to happen there. Okay, awesome, guys. Love you all for joining, and we'll see you guys in the group.